Welcome to Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc, the wildest mixed tag team in podcasting where the kayfabe drops and the chaos takes over. Let's ring the damn bell.
Headlocks tight, heels on the prowl, dropping elbows, hearing growl, feel the foul. No script here, just real, no bluff. Kayfabe crack, now the dirt gets rough. Headlocks, heels, havoc in the zone. Step in the ring, chaos is your home. No filters, no mask, just raw bare tone. Wrestling unscripted, we on the throne. Title bells, mic checks, crowd going crazy. Drop truth bombs, leaving lines feeling hazy. Beyond the kayfabe, past the charade, where legends are born and stories get made. Headlock, stop it, who's hitting the man? Welcome to the Havoc where the real talk's at. Tune in, step through, leave the fake at the door. Headlocks, heels, Havoc, now hear the roar.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I am one half of the greatest tag team in podcasting, the legend J-Mac. With me, as always, is everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Slam.
What's up, family?
And this week on our recap episode, we have brought in one of our dear friends from Mayhem Media, Mr. JD. He is the founder, president, and all that other good stuff.
Hey, yo.
How's everybody doing?
Pretty good. How about y'all?
I'm alive.
I need to get some custom music for Mayhem Media with both you and the Sloans having your own custom music. I guess I'm gonna have to see if I can find someone to make me some custom music.
Yeah, step it up a little bit.
Hey, the music that we use, we own the commercial rights to.
Oh, okay.
Let's not sneeze at that. But yeah, unfortunately, it's made by my Mark. And this, if you guys don't mind, I can give my friend Marcus Fredrickson a shout out. Check out his music, reverbnation.com/Marcus Fredrickson. I'm sure he would make me custom music, but unfortunately, he passed a couple years ago. So that's why after he passed, I mean, he let me use his music before, but afterwards, his family let me continue to use it and let me have the commercial rights for it. So
kind of like keep his name out there.
Yeah, and he also had arthrogryposis, which is the same disease that I have. He just had it a little bit differently. He had it only in his hands and in his feet, whereas I have it in my arms and in my legs.
Well, God bless his family, and hey, go check everything out he just said and everything. Support his music and everything. Absolutely. Help him out. You know, you never know who you're still helping.
He's got great music. Yeah, that's why we still use it. But with you guys' custom music, man, we're gonna have to get some custom music. I guess we're gonna have to look for it.
Brother, I'm gonna just be honest with you, man. If it wasn't for AI, we wouldn't have that song. AI did all that for us.
No kidding.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's very bold of you to admit on there, and I will be just as bold and say that I probably am not going to do that.
Well, I mean, it ain't for everybody, but I'm not a music writer, and I didn't have the money to pay nobody. So
hey, man,
we went the what we call it, Uncle Slam, balling on a budget round.
Yeah,
exactly. We over here.
I consider myself blessed. I consider myself blessed to be able to use Marcus's music. So that's something that he found me. Like, I did 6 episodes, and we found each other on Facebook and was like, "Hey, I make music," and I'm like, "Hey, I need some."
Well, I would offer to use some of my grandpa's music, but I don't think my grandpa's music gonna fly with Uncle Slam over there. I mean, I'm sure he respects the fact that he played music, but it just ain't his style of music.
Yeah, not my cup of tea.
I can understand that.
Pretty sure you know that by now,
right?
I can understand that.
Well, guys, we are going to jump into it this week, man. We got a few stories. Wasn't really nothing big really happening in the wrestling world, too big or anything. Just still building up towards WrestleManias, a lot of all that, you know.
Yeah, road to WrestleMania. They're just kind of hyping everybody up, pretty much making the matches, trying to set them.
And is it me, or does this road to WrestleMania feel like it's got a hell of a lot of potholes in it? Because, I mean, it's bad.
Well, I'm hoping it gets better. Like I said, I think we got maybe like 22 days left till WrestleMania or something. So
something to that effect. There's a few matches that I'm hyped for, but as far as just the overall vibe of WrestleMania this year, I'm just not feeling it like I do every other year.
What matches are you obviously looking forward to, or whatever, or you want to see?
Well, I was going to bring up the match card later, but just to touch on it at the beginning here. Honestly and truthfully, I'm pretty big on the Oba Brock Lesnar, just because I feel like he's going to be passing the torch there.
Yeah, I
And then
agree.
the main events are going to be good, but I mean, past that, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to be kind of a, let's see what happens to me.
Yeah,
That's my opinion
I
on it.
feel you. Um,
What do you think, JD?
I'm looking forward to the Four Corners women's tag match.
yeah, I think that'll be
So
good.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna. I think that'll likely has a potential to steal the show there. And then other than that, probably like you said, Oba and Brock. I'm not. I don't follow WWE week to week. I just stay tuned enough, and so that we, to fill in when we do the shows and stuff like that. I've never been a humongous WWE fan. I've never been a super fan of their product. They just put on something different. I don't hate them.
Yeah,
Right.
It's never been my cup of tea. I've always been the WCW, TNA, AEW guy more than the
See, and
WWE.
that's me. I've always been more the NWA, that Southern wrestling
Oh,
style and
yeah.
stuff.
But even
More
when I didn't follow,
WCW,
even when I
or
didn't follow
ECW.
even when I didn't follow WWE very often, like I still always ordered WrestleMania. It always came around my birthday, March 30th. So I would always still order WrestleMania. But man, the last couple of years and this year, it's like I was just saying this to Wolfman earlier tonight on our show on Call for the Bell. It's like they're having 6 matches each night. That's 12 matches total. Why are they even doing a 2-night event anymore?
It's
Yeah,
officially been bumped up to 7 matches now. There's officially 14 matches.
Oh, but we don't know what those other two are yet, right?
yeah.
I asked Chat GPT earlier to try to find out what the matches were just so I could have the card right in front of me, and Chat GPT seemed confused as well.
That,
So I just
that's
left
not
it at
surprising.
that. Right.
That's not surprising, but that's what I'm saying. Like, why are they even, even
To make
14
more
matches?
money, to get people, because 2 day ticket sales instead of 1 day ticket sales.
Man,
That's
and
exactly what it is.
TKO wonders why they're hemorrhaging money, man. I'm working on a report. I'm gonna be doing it in a couple weeks. It's gonna reveal some of the stuff behind the scenes of WWE and what's actually going on with TKO Sports and stuff, man. It's not looking good for WWE.
Oh, I don't doubt it. And it's not, I don't think WWE is ever going to close, but I think they are eventually going to have to sell off everything that's not WWE so
Oh
that
no,
that way they can just work within WWE.
I
Like
was
I'm talking about, I think they're going to sell off NXT. That's
my,
why they're
my
building it as a brand.
That'll be the first thing they do right after they sell TNA and AAA because that'll
Oh
be
yeah.
the first to go. But then yes, they'll sell NXT, but then eventually they'll sell Raw and then they'll sell SmackDown.
I don't think
So
they
they will
will.
sell them
I
as
think
separate entities.
I don't think. Well, yeah, I think they'll split it up like that. But I think that as far as like the brand of WWE, that's not going anywhere.
I think when Raw gets sold to some company and SmackDown gets sold to another company, I think that would pretty much officially spell the end of the WWE name.
That when the sale of those two, I this is just my personal opinion. I think that they would merge them back together before they're going to just jump and sell it all like that.
TKO bought WWE because they're hemorrhaging money. UFC is not making any money. Their other ventures not making any money. They
Right.
bought WWE, and at the time they were making money. At the time they were purchased, WWE was making money, so they needed something green on their balance sheet. TKO Sports, but now WWE is not making any money. And when
Right.
when you buy a company to help on the balance sheet, and then that company stops performing, the first thing you're going to do once it reaches a certain point, there's going to be a reaching point, a tipping point. Once they reach that tipping point, the whole thing is going to be to make money. They will break it all into individual pieces and sell it to the highest bidder.
And I think that's
how it's gonna
exactly what's going to happen is Vince is going to step back in with the Saudis and he's going to say, I don't want NXT. I don't want all that other stuff. I want SmackDown and Raw, and that's all I want. Give me that. Give me the assets to those two. Chop everything else up.
But
And
ain't that
that-
what they've already done already? If you think about it, because if think about it, we used to get everything on, the WWE network,
Yeah.
or everything would be on,
They're
either
piecing it out.
USA or USA. Now it's all broken up. TNA's on one place, SmackDown's on another. This is here, NXT's here, AAA's over here and shit. They've already broken everything up and taxing the shit out of us.
It's just a matter of selling it now.
And because like I said, I mean, like say if we were in Canada, everything is one and shit. They only do it here in America it's because they know they can get the money from us and shit. Mm-hmm. Over there, people will buy, but it's still not the same. I feel like it's almost homegrown here, kind of like, say basketball or baseball. It kind of started here. Like, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just kind of speculating. But there's definitely more fan support, I think, here than maybe overseas. So they
only for WWE.
Yeah. So they've realized, I think they've already just been like, hey, look, we're going to break this up. We're going to, make these basically different companies or whatever, or supposedly, and then we'll market them as something else. But if shit happens like y'all say, I think personally, like first thing's going to go is AAA, then TNA, and then NXT or whatever.
And I think I think J-Mac has the point there. If Vince steps back in with the Saudis, he could save Raw and SmackDown and still.
You don't think he would keep NXT? Because I honestly think NXT's a little bit better than WWE right now. I mean, SmackDown and Raw. It's
they afford it.
Vince don't want NXT because all NXT and it just goes to show proof with the whole NXT 2.0 crap and everything that Vince done. Vince only looked at NXT as developmental.
Yeah, but what's wrong with the developmental, though? I mean,
there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah. But Vince McMahon can develop another developmental and call it EC3 or two-time this or
but why start from scratch when you already have something already built, though?
Because
that's
you can,
kind of
and it's less money to have to pay.
Yeah, he's not going to want to bid. Listen, when WWE's broken up, and to J-Mac's point here, when AAA, TNA. They're like obviously going to be sold as the brands, but NXT is almost a separate brand. The WWE has 3 brands. They have Raw, SmackDown, and NXT.
Mm-hmm. I have no doubt.
I think Vince will not want to pay what someone else will want to pay for NXT.
And not only that,
but wouldn't it be a package deal? Like if he's buying WWE, I mean, like doesn't that include everything and stuff?
No, not if you're TKO. If you're TKO and you own all that now,
they can break it up
because you can.
Well, they could break it up, but I mean, you think Vince would actually pay separate for it, or you think you just
and that's what I was going to say is NXT right now compared to what it was 3 or 4 years ago, because just to your point, Uncle Slam, is NXT has gotten that good that NXT right now, I would say personally easily could sell for $1 billion.
Not to mention that someone out there
by itself,
someone's going to want NXT. Yeah. Just for the name recognition.
You telling me Tony Khan wouldn't throw up $1 billion to grab NXT and bring all the NXT?
But is it going to be the same product if Tony Khan buys it?
Doesn't matter. That's not the argument here.
Yeah.
The argument is the buying power of it.
Yeah.
Well, obviously,
Vince doesn't want to have to sit there and buy $1 billion developmental when he can take one for 500,000.
Yeah,
I can take that. Yeah. He can just restart his own.
Vince is arrogant enough to also believe that he can, so he's not going to spend one. He'll get his home, his brands back. Raw,
and he'll have Saudi money back in it too.
Yep.
I mean, that's just my opinion. That's what I think.
I agree with you, J-Mac. But my argument to that is if he involves Saudi money, I think that's potential to kill the product here in the States.
Oh, I do too. It'll most assuredly put most of the product of WWE in Saudi Arabia once whatever happens over in the Middle East that's going on right now.
Yeah,
is done and over with.
Yeah,
but the thing
we don't know how long that's going to be. I mean, that could be a couple years, 5 to 10 years, and we obviously know right now there's not going to be any. Well, unless something changed, all those pay-per-views that are supposed to be in the Middle East are pretty much canceled.
Well, here's another thing though. Is that going to make the price go down a little bit to where he can get them for a little bit cheaper?
Could be.
I mean, this is going to have a huge domino effect all the way around. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's going to be an interesting, it's going to be interesting to watch what happens with TKO. So yeah, JD, whenever you get your whatever you're getting together, let us know, man. We'll have to do an episode about it and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have you guys on too. I'm working on a whole big thing here, so that way I can actually show how it's done. Because what WWE did with TNA and AAA is exactly what TKO attempted with WWE. You buy a company that's more profitable; it puts green on your balance sheet.
Mm-hmm.
WWE stopped making money, so the first thing they did was acquire two more companies that made money.
Yep.
So but eventually the bottom falls out, and
Yep.
then you're stuck breaking the companies apart to sell them as individual pieces. So absolutely, I'll let you know when we do that.
Sounds good. Well, we are going to start out the news stories with a congratulations to a 72-year-old WWE Hall of Famer who got married, and we are talking about none other than Four Horsemen member himself, Tully Blanchard. Just a
Damn,
quick little.
72?
I know it's 72, but
Guess you don't
congratulations.
give up on
to him.
love.
Right. Tully ain't giving up. He ain't giving up at all.
Yeah, he's a madman.
So here's another little fact I thought was kind of funny. These first few are just little small tidbits to talk about here, real quick, to start us off. So the entire Jinder Mahal's single WWE Championship reign lasted longer than the combined total of all four of Edge's reigns.
I did not know that.
That is crazy.
Yeah, he did have some short runs. I ain't gonna lie. So I mean,
And he
I can
did.
believe it.
Like,
It kind of reminded me of the way Sting was in WCW. He never needed the belt to be over with the crowd.
see, that's what I was getting ready to ask. Was that because he wasn't that over? Because I don't think Edge ever really got that over. I think he was a top bad guy heel, but he was never the top bad guy heel. Because even with his Cena feud, I never bought him as somebody who was gonna like vanquish Cena. You know what I'm saying? Like, I bought Andre could beat Hulk Hogan down.
Yeah.
I bought that the Ultimate Warrior could steal Hogan's throne. I bought that, Shawn and Brett could pass it back and forth. I just never bought that, overall Edge was going to get the best of, Cena, and Cena was going to have to regroup, and it was going to be a while before Cena could get his title back. It just never was. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Let me hear what y'all got to say.
Slam, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So like, what's the question again about Edge? Are you asking if he got over or what?
Because of his short title reigns, was he really as over as everybody kind of remembers him as, or was it just kind of the machine that made him look over?
I don't know. See, because I was never a huge Edge fan. Now I kind of appreciate him a little bit more now that I'm older. That I kind of look back at some of the matches and kind of what he's done in like other like organizations. But I think he was. I mean, the whole starting out, as far as tag teams, him and Christians were huge or whatever, and then once he split, the whole love story between him and Lita, and the whole Matt Hardy shit, that made him definitely, people hate him a lot and shit because suppose he's stealing somebody's girl and shit. And then like you said, the feud with Cena, the whole Randy Orton thing, Vicky Guerrero and shit, when she was kind of helping him out, when she was a manager and shit, or not manager, but the commissioner or GM, whatever you want to call it. I kind of feel like he was, honestly. Like I said, I mean, I felt like that that he got over with the fans, but that's just my opinion. But at the time, I didn't really like him, so maybe I didn't see it then. But I kind of look back now, and I kind of feel like he did.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, Uncle Slam. I think he was over. I think he used the real life heat with the Lita and Matt Hardy situation to his advantage, became the rated R superstar. And of course, I mean, his run with the tag team. I mean, with the TLC match. He created that match. He helped create that match with two other tag teams. He's always going to be attached to that. Mm-hmm. But my biggest argument, excuse me, my biggest argument is to whether or not he's over is in any arena, WWE or AEW, TNA or AAA. When the lights go out and you hear that, "If you can know me, the entire stadium erupts because they know who's coming everywhere. I've never heard the crowd not pop when the beginning of his music hits. And last part, he's also one of the first wrestlers to own his own music, which means he gets to take it no matter which company he's in.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
On this day, I
Yep.
see clearly.
It was made for him by the band. CM Punk is another one that he owned, or the band gave him the rights to that music, not the WWE, not AEW.
Oh, damn.
CM Punk owns the rights.
Cody Rhodes.
Yep.
They let him use the Freedom song.
Yep.
See, I understood about the music and stuff, but I just realized because I was reading something the other day where they were talking about tattoos are a big thing too, about having permission or copyright, and how Randy Orton went through a big legal battle for video games with his tattoo artist, but how they allow like Rhea Ripley, because I think she signed some type of exclusive contract with her tattoo artist where she basically owned the tattoo, so she could. They could put them on video games, or they could put them on whatever dolls and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's big money, especially like I said. I mean, because courts have ruled that tattoos are copyright enforced or whatever. Yeah. I mean, so the artist owns that. So if you're using it without their permission, then you can be sued and you have to pay.
Yep. That's crazy. So I wonder, how, what would you do? Just go up to your tattoo artist and be like, hey, I'll give you X amount of money if you just sign over the rights to this to me. That way I can just use it with whatever I want to use it with. Or it would either be that, or you would have to just strike up a contractual agreement to where, y'all split the money a certain way or something like that.
I'm willing to bet there's tattoo artists that would be willing to tattoo somebody and give the wrestler the rights, so that they can have it on video games or whatever. You would just have to look. I'm sure that there's tattoo artists who would be willing to do that. So, but if you wanted a specific one and they just didn't want to give you the rights, you probably just give them some extra money. You'd have to buy out the rights. Yeah.
Could you imagine a tattoo artist doing one tattoo and being able to retire? Because as long as your image is in that game, that game getting sold, you're going. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
I hope I'm not getting a tattoo from someone who's doing their first tattoo.
Right. Well, no. I'm not talking about the first tattoo. I'm just saying you do one tattoo. I'm not saying you've never done any other ones. I'm just saying that at some point in time you just do a tattoo.
One tattoo that just you're retired.
Boom, it takes
like a mic drop.
Crazy.
Like, this tattoo, mic drop. I'm done.
Well, it's like that one guy, he's an influencer on TikTok and stuff like that. He doesn't say anything, but he just sits there. He'll show stupid situations, and then he'll do it, the easier way, and he'll just go.
Yeah.
Like that.
I know you're talking about.
He just sold his image to AI to be used to a company with AI and everything for like $900 million.
I know who you're talking about. Like, I can't think of his name, but I know the guy you're talking about.
I'm like, good property, Lord. Man. Yeah,
intellectual property.
So that's crazy. His image is intellectual property for $900 million. I need to find somebody that wants my image for something. I don't know what it's for. I'll sell a tractor or something. I don't give a shit.
We're kind of talking with something like that right now with the Four Horsemen podcasting, working out all the details and stuff like that.
Right.
But the difference is we all want to profit together. No one's looking to be greedy.
Yeah. Right.
We do it together as a team.
That's it.
So
if I can get it up there right.
I cannot, but J-Mac can and Uncle Slam can.
Right. All righty. Next one. I don't know. I feel like this one is kind of to drive the WrestleMania plot a little bit, but 5-time Intercontinental Champion ready to come out of retirement. You thought the return of Cody Rhodes was big. Well, when I found out who it was, I don't really care. And the Cody Rhodes return was bigger than yours, but it's Wade Barrett.
Oh my! Wow.
Yeah, I don't care.
Wow. Right. I mean, if you want to come back and work, lower mid card, cool. But I really don't want to see you in any big storylines.
How that just shows you what kind of situation, at least at some point, the WWE was in. That Wade Barrett is a 5-time Intercontinental Champion.
Well, because they've pigeonholed themselves, and we will get into that even a little bit later. but we've talked about it 500 million times, but they pigeonholed themselves with the stars that they're using. But yeah, we'll move on so that we can get to that, so I can finish that, because it's this right here. I don't understand this. Like, what are we doing? Are we doing a retirement match? You know what I'm saying? Like the Seth Rollins and Gunther thing. Like, what is that? Is Gunther saying I'm going to retire you? And if he is, then that's just stupid.
We were just talking about that. I was just talking about that with Wolfman, that this match really seems kind of thrown together. Two high profile wrestlers who now, they're just thrown into a match together. No kind of story build up or anything. And anything they're putting together is just last minute to try and create something.
Yeah.
Well, this is how stupid that is, because you've built Gunther up to be this big, massive, I'm retiring everybody thing. Well, we obviously know that he's not going to retire Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. So they're just going to kill the I'm a retirement machine momentum.
I mean,
that's the only other option.
Unless Seth Rollins is getting ready to take a massive break or time off.
Hell, he just had one. Hell,
right. I know, that's what I mean. He just came back from a big one. So
this makes no sense.
Yeah, it's basically like they took two people that were injured and was like, okay, well, you're injured and you're injured. Hey, let's put y'all together.
Yeah,
it's like, and they're trying to sell it off like that. Well, Paul Heyman is just it's a distraction, blah blah blah, yada yada, whatever. No, it's not a distraction because of I've got Gunther distracting you, so I can go off and do this other stuff. No, it's not that. Y'all don't know what y'all are doing. That's just plain and simple what it is. You're rushing because so many people got injured so quick with Braun, and it makes no sense. They're rushing everything.
Yeah.
Skipping over to AEW. AEW star Willie Mack seemingly calling out Tony Khan for not being booked and calling every week. Willie Mack says he might become homeless. Willie Mack, when your boy is about to become a homeless superhero because the booker doesn't think he's worth the money. Hashtag where the best wrestle. Willie Mack, it's like for 2 years straight, I'd call every week and ask if you got anything for me. You signed, right? And that's what they would ask him. You still getting paid, right? He said, I want to wrestle. So we've talked about this with the WWE, Uncle Slim. So it seems to me like AEW is doing the same thing. We're just going to sign up all the talent, send them home, so that the other company can't get them.
Mm-hmm.
I would make a counterpoint to that in WWE you're not allowed. There's a lot of stuff you're not allowed to do, but in AEW you are allowed to go do independent shows and stuff. You just have to run it through their whatever. But there's a lot of wrestlers that still go do for AEW that still go do indie shows and stuff like that. So he could still be getting out there to work. AEW is not sending him home and preventing him from working. They're just not putting him on their product.
But are they? You know what I'm saying? We don't really know what's being said behind the back. But
you're right.
So, I mean, they may not be giving him permission to go do anything.
That would be the first that if it gets reported, that would be the first time. I'm just pointing that out. That's
right, because you see AEW guys on indie scenes.
Yeah, they go everywhere.
Well, speaking of which, shout out to Myron Reed. We just a few months ago we got to see him at EWA. So he's with AEW now. I don't know.
I don't know, but I mean, listen, I'm the same way with Britt Baker. Britt Baker just texted something, tweeted something about how it's not up to her because fans are wondering where she's at and why she's been gone. And I do think that Tony Khan has a problem with too many wrestlers and not enough time in his product to showcase all these wrestlers. And he's got to, I've been saying this for a while. Tony Khan, he owns the company and he needs to take a step back from creative and let someone else run it. And then he can focus on running the business. If that's signing wrestlers, then it's signing wrestlers. If that's managing the roster, then manage the roster. But he's got to stop trying to do everything himself. Because you're right. I think he's buying, I want to use this guy. He's going to be good. Okay, how do we use him? Well, I don't know. I just want to use him.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think that's what's happening a lot. I mean, Ricky Starks was Ricky Saints. Ricky Starks was the same way. Powerhouse Hobbs. And AEW has a tendency, and I hope it's just a fluke thing, but they have a tendency to either put them in purgatory, which is what I like to call the trios championships in AEW, and where they put a belt on you so that you're a champion, but you get 5 minutes a week to showcase your talent, or they're just not on TV at all. They're just completely taken off TV. And I hope that that's not really what's happening, because that's going to be bad business for Tony Khan if he wants to get any of these wrestlers back.
I honestly, truthfully, I just feel like I feel like it's a spiteful move. Now whether it's the intention of each company is the same, to me personally, I think WWE signing people just so other people can't use them.
Yeah.
And then just sending them home. Now, AEW's intent may be to use them. They just don't have anything for them. And at some point in time, you just gotta have to release that contract and let them go, and let the fans are going to continue to get mad at you if you don't let these performers that they want to see go perform. I don't care if it's on the indies. I don't care if it's TNA. If I get excited because of the fact that WWE has signed a big star, say I'm a big AEW mark, and I'm hugely, excited that they signed Powerhouse Hobbs, aka Royce Keys. I haven't seen him hardly. You know what I'm saying? But you send him home, I'm just going to get pissed off at the WWE because you're not showcasing, the people I want to see. So you're going to force me to go over somewhere else. So at some point in time, just let them go, man. You're obviously got enough going on that you don't need them.
Now, my counter argument to that is, if that's really true, now listen, we don't know if AEW is preventing him from working other shows. Okay, that would be the first time AEW's ever done that. But we could suppose that it's true. Okay. But if that's the case, why is he tweeting? I get that he wants to be on TV, but my response to you, J-Mac, is if he really wanted out of his AEW contract, if he doesn't want that paycheck they're still sending him, I'm sure there's an out clause. I'm sure that he has an out somewhere in that contract where he could get out of it if he wanted to.
See, I would have to see the contract itself.
Well, why isn't he tweeting, I want out of my contract, you're not using me?
Because he still wants to get paid. What are you talking about?
Well, exactly right. Anybody still wants to get paid, but maybe his true intention is that he just wants to be in the ring.
Oh, I'm sure he wants to be in the ring, but when you're paid by a company, if they don't, and I get wrestlers hate this, and WCW has done it, where they picked up like Bret Hart. How long did they have Bret Hart, Uncle Slam, before they actually started putting him on TV? They paid him for like 4 months before they even actually put him on TV. So, like, I get the frustration from a wrestler point of view, but if you're really that frustrated, if you really want to do shows and the company is not letting you, then ask for your release. And that's why I don't think I don't believe AEW is preventing him from working.
But that's another thing that we don't know. Has he asked for his release and they said no? So this is his next route, is to go and start grieving, Well, I'm not arguing whether it's right, wrong, or different. No, I'm just saying. I do this on my show. We don't know all the details.
Yeah, I do this on my show. I like to provide the other side of the argument.
Right. But just from the outside looking in, it looks like these companies are just buying people up so that other people can't use them, and that's just kind of to the fans. To the fans, it's shitty. Don't do the fans like that.
Well, I understand why the wrestler is upset, because it's kind of like being any professional athlete. You might still be getting paid, but are you going to make more money if you're on TV or like if you're sitting on the shelf? It's like, the more you're out there, the more people see you, when it's time to, like negotiate for contracts, you can get more money if you're a bigger star and if you're on TV compared to if you're just the guy they're paying who's kind of hanging around. So I definitely understand why there's frustration. But like you said, there are options, and there are other organizations, like if you're not happy with AEW, go to TNA. If you're not happy with that, go to Evolve or, WWE or something like that and shit. I think there's ways around it, unless there's a legal document kind of holding it from that shit. But I definitely understand why they would be upset, because it's like any professional athlete. The more playtime you get, when it's time to negotiate that contract, it's going to be a better payday.
Yeah,
it's kind of like getting your stats up.
Yep. I agree, and I just think as far as the the fans, for the fans, because that's the fans want what's the best products out there.
The problem for AEW, if I can interject, J-Mac, just for a second, the problem with AEW is they don't really have a farm system. WWE has NXT. They have a developmental organization where no matter who they sign, they usually debut within a couple of weeks or whatever on NXT. But AEW doesn't have a farm system. In fact, Tony Khan has Ring of Honor and AEW, two arguably competitive organizations, and one of them is not a farm system for the other, or at least he has not established that or set that up that way. He's still treating them as independent, and in fact sometimes he's using either dates from one contract or another on both shows, or he's signing people to a deal under both contracts so they can go back and forth. So that's, I think, is a problem for AEW, is that there's no developmental system. Plus they also canceled their YouTube shows, Elevation and Dark. That was what was their farm system, was two shows that were only on YouTube where they used to showcase talent. That's where Willow Nightingale came from. She started on Dark and Elevation. And just for everybody else who's talking about people who lose a lot in AEW, Willow Nightingale lost her first 35 matches and now she's a dual champion. So maybe just, do what you're supposed to do, develop your character, and, you'll get your reward then, you know what I mean? But that's a separate topic. But, they don't have Dark and Elevation. They have no farm system. They don't even have the Dark and Elevation shows where they can use to showcase up and coming talent.
I don't know. I think the problem is they also try to pull too much talent from Japan, and there's just not enough Japanese exposure here in the United States, because there's a lot of great talent that wrestle, like Okada. There's a lot of great
Okada and Nakamura, Shinsuke Nakamura, and that's on WWE side, but the other two guys on AEW, I don't think when they first got there, they were hardly getting any pops on the crowd from the American crowd. AEW turned them into American stars, which I thought was crazy, because that is usually not easy for Japanese stars.
And that's what I was saying is they don't, there's not a lot of exposure for Japanese wrestling here. There's more now than there was, especially 20, 30 years ago, of course. But it's like, if you're going to use the Japanese system as a sort of farm system, then you're going to have to help them promote over here somehow, some way. Whether it be let them use your platform to, do the Japan Super Show, at the Tokyo Dome once a year or something like that.
AEW's been doing a lot of crossover work with New Japan and a lot of cross shows. Plus, they have the whole Forbidden Door.
Okay, yeah. See, and I don't know. I think just like you touched on earlier, the biggest problem for AEW is AEW doesn't have. They don't. Tony Khan doesn't know what he's doing enough to be doing it. He needs to get somebody else in there and let them.
Yeah, I feel like it's like the Jerry Jones syndrome. He's got way too many hats, and there's a reason why all these are separate jobs. There's a reason why you have a GM. There's a reason why you have somebody in control of creative. There's a reason why you have somebody that does this and that, instead of one person trying to do it all. And I think it's just too much for him. I think he needs to, kind of like what JD said, he needs to break it up. He needs to take a step back. If he's going to do this, then let somebody else run that, or, hire somebody else to do this. And I think it would work 10 times better and shit. Like, sometimes I think you need somebody else in there.
I think he's afraid to hand it off. And I don't know if you guys know this, but early in AEW's existence, he actually let Cody Rhodes was the head booker. He was head of creative, and he was the one. And their ratings, because they had just got on TNT, their ratings and everything had dropped really bad. And you could actually go back, and if you look at their shows, their shows got not very good. They were not very entertaining for a little time while Cody was the head booker. So, because he was just booking too old school, you know what I mean? That's not what AEW has something with their, as much as I don't like all of their banger matches, I love me some 45 and 60-minute matches. But what AEW has going for them is some high-flying athletic wrestlers who are doing some crazy stuff, and they're putting on them really fast, high-paced matches. If you get away from that, then you're going to lose what AEW has at special. I think Tony Khan's afraid to hand it over because he's afraid he's going to lose like that spark that he has. But he still has to do it. Just because he's afraid to do it doesn't mean he doesn't have to do it.
Do you think he's trying to be too much like Vince? You know how Vince was kind of I don't want to say a control freak, but Vince controlled everything, whether it's what you said, what you wore, what you came out in, how production, what it looked like. Do you think he's trying to model himself too much like Vince, and it just doesn't work? Vince was brought up, he was raised in wrestling. His dad was a promoter. He was the business. Khan just kind of bought into the business or whatever.
I fully agree with that. I think Tony Khan thinks that he can be Vince McMahon, but Vince McMahon, like you just said, had how many years in the business?
Yeah, his father was in it. He grew up in it. Like that was what they did. They were promoters. They were bookers.
Even when he first bought it, he wasn't even the president. He left the existing president there for like 2 or 3 years before he actually took over as president of WWE after he bought it from his dad. Like he learned all of the jobs before he to run all of them. And I think that the difference is Vince McMahon was a grinder and a worker in a business that wasn't $1 million business, and he turned it into $1 million business because of his capabilities. Tony Khan is a rich kid who bought a wrestling company with the money his daddy has, and he's a super fan, and that is working to his advantage a little bit, but he's not Vince McMahon. He needs to. I agree with you, Uncle Sam. He's not Vince McMahon. He's got to realize that and let some other people step in and just. He can overlook everything. There's no reason he still can't.
Yeah, have last call or final say or whatever. But you need to let somebody else do some of the other stuff.
Yeah, and that's how he's going to learn. He's got to bring these people in and let them do the job and learn from them, and then he can run the company how he wants.
And that kind of harkens back to what Aaron was talking about on the last episode, is about make yourself valuable, make yourself needed in all different areas. And that's what Vince did. Vince was smart enough for all his faults. And we know those are extensive. Yeah. But for all his thoughts, there is the wrestling side of him was a great man as far as, knowing the business.
Oh yeah.
Stuff. But he was smart enough to know the one thing that all great men know. And that's, I don't know everything.
At the beginning, J-Mac.
Right. Well, of course, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what made him great and great in the business, was that he was able to look at himself at the beginning and admit that I don't know everything.
Yeah.
So let me figure it out so that I can know everything, and then nobody can tell me nothing.
Exactly. That's exactly right. I think that's what Tony Khan lacks. He didn't grow up in it, and he's never going to have the experience Vince has. That's why he has to hire it and learn from it before he just takes over and can just run the whole thing.
I think the problem that held and still kind of holds AEW back is that. And because of that, it's the perception that he's rich boy playing promoter.
I mean, at 6 years, I don't know how much more playing he can do to prove that he's definitely got something. I think at this point, you can't deny that. You can call Tony Khan lucky. You can call it whatever. But the fact is, it doesn't go for 6 years if it doesn't have some popularity, if it's not making money. People want to see the product, and it is an alternative, and it is popular. Yeah, so I would say he's definitely past he's past the flash in the pan, but but see now, J-Mac, to the point, now that the company's 6 years old, you're past all that new kid stuff. The new car smell has worn off. Now what is real about AEW? That's where he's at, and that's why he's got to take a step back, because he doesn't know how to make what he has that he's built. He built this.
And now, the problem with that is
for the next 20 years.
And the problem with that is, one way is he is going to have to go back and look at what original TNA did wrong.
They're in
because
danger of making a few of those mistakes themselves right
yes,
now.
and because they're right at that point. Because at this point,
Exactly.
at this point, TNA was starting to be talked about as could be a real contender, could be this, and then boop, the wheels fell off real quick. You know, by about the 10-year mark for TNA,
But that was
everybody knew that TNA was not going to be a contender with WWE.
I would argue,
And that's what I'm saying is
yeah,
AEW is at that 6 year. In the next 4 years, is the wheels going to fall off of
yes.
it if he doesn't,
Mhm.
figure something else out
Or if he
and
tells it.
and get that perception of rich kid playing promoter instead of, because by year 6 with Vince wasn't known as a rich kid playing promoter. Vince
No.
McMahon was known as this sumbitch is coming after everybody.
Yes.
And I don't think it's a different perception with Tony Khan.
Yes, it is, because even though Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor, it's still that didn't help the perception, and that just almost solidified it, that he just picked up a second promotion without even being able to prove that the first one was going to be successful. But I think he has. I think the problem with TNA though, between TNA and AEW, is that TNA started being sold. It was started by Jeff and Jerry Jarrett. Then they sold it to the Carters, who then sold it a few years later. I think when you start seeing turnover in ownership, that's when the wheels are going to start to fall off. If Tony Khan keeps it, even for the next 4 years, I don't think he's in the same kind of dangerous spot that the TNA was, because there's been no change in ownership.
What do you think they have to do to take that next step to not be like a TNA, to, elevate or to get a closer to WWE or whatever? Is it Khan stepping away and put somebody else in charge creative? Is it, better storylines? Because everybody seems, say it's kind of weak when it comes to storylines. I mean, like, what do they need to do to take that next step to make sure that they don't fall to the wayside?
That's a great question. And just in my opinion, I think Tony Khan's already proved that he's started being able to show that he can do long-term storytelling, because he's been doing some great long-term storytelling with Jon Moxley. Okay, that would be the first example I would point you to. Jon Moxley's been developing this whole character and the Death Riders thing for the last 3-4 years now. Tony Khan, at least if nothing else, allows his wrestlers to do some very long-term storytelling, and some of that is actually starting to weave together and pan out the way it should when a company reaches this point. Once you get 5 or 6 years of history, old storylines should sometimes weave into new storylines. Things that have happened in the past come back to haunt you. And I think that they've started doing some of that. So that's one thing I'd say Tony Khan has done better at, definitely, is with his long-term storytelling. But what they need to take the next step, I hate to say it, because I think he's been doing a good job up until this point, but I think the perception of him being the rich kid is going to affect the overall perception of the company. I think until he hires some team members to come in and work around him, like we talked about, even if he's overseeing everything, this person's head booker, this person's talent relations, this person's in charge of travel, until the structure of AEW, the structure of the company is filled out and built, I think that it's going to continue that perception that they're still a young company, still trying to nip at the heels of WWE, which is not even what they're trying to do. They're not competing with WWE. They're just making a different product.
Yeah.
And it's becoming popular and it's being profitable on its own. It's not about, they're never going to defeat the WWE. The WWE has 50 years of history, and they own the last 100 years of all of wrestling in their library. You're not going to defeat them, but you can still carve out your own part and still be profitable and make millions of dollars.
I think one other thing holds them back, and that is, personally, I think they need a better TV deal.
I love that. No, I think Max is perfect. I think Max is exactly where they need to be.
Because I don't think there's enough people
that
actually have Max.
You're right. They're 4th on the list for streaming services. Max is 4th on the list for streaming services, which is also why when Netflix wanted to buy Max, I was so against it. Here's the thing now, J Mac, and I don't know if you know this. Paramount is buying Max. So Paramount.
I thought Netflix had already inked the deal.
No.
That fell through. Yeah.
Oh, did it?
No,
okay.
That was never going to pass. That was never going to pass Congress. Yeah. The number one, and I mean, when I say Netflix is number one, I mean, Netflix is number one by a mile over number two in the streaming service. So to have the number one who's that number by a mile buying the number four streaming service, that would have never made it through Congress. That's called a monopoly. So because that would have given them over 65% of the overall streaming service in America. That is ridiculous.
Damn.
So that was never going to pass. Their bid was never real. Paramount did buy them. So you got the number three buying the number four.
See, how's that any different though?
Because of the market share that they have.
Yeah, I know, but it just
Netflix has over 50% of the market share
by itself. Yeah.
Yeah. And Paramount and Max together are still only going to be number two on the list. So that's how you get away with it, because it's not even the same thing as Netflix. Netflix already owns more than half the market. Anybody merging with them would just create more of a monopoly than they might already have. But another one, two of the number fives merging gives you another powerhouse.
Because I was looking forward to getting a whole lot of good DC shit.
But ain't that the way like companies are kind of going though? It's all the streaming services are pretty bundling together, whether it's Disney and ABC or whatever.
Bundling is different than merging. Bundling is different than merging. Offering your services as part of another company's services that's not the same thing as
long as you're not owned by the same one.
Yeah. Now Paramount and HBO are going to be staying separate. Their libraries will be staying separate for years. It'll be years before Paramount and Max actually combine their libraries. But they'll likely again do the same thing, Slam, where they're going to package where you'll get Max and Paramount Plus for some kind of bundle deal, which will increase AEW's audience, which was the whole point that I went on that huge tangent anyway, was to come back around that merger actually will help AEW because now it will open up the audience a lot more.
Are they just on HBO or are they on TBS too? Because I thought somebody said
they're still live on TNT and TBS, but Turner
nobody has cable like that no more.
Turner doesn't have its own streaming service. That's why they linked. They're actually Discovery. Turner is all. And now they're not owned by Max, but Max owns the rights to provide their services on their channels.
And not only that, but man, that's going to be ridiculous. Paramount and friggin' Warner Brothers are going to be together. Like that's going to be absolutely crazy. I don't know. I know that's all totally off subject of wrestling, but
no, but it's true. I mean, when you think back into the 90s and in the 80s and stuff, it was always Paramount and Warner Brothers were the top two competitors in movies, in cartoons, in television. It was always Paramount or Warner Brothers.
No. It's crazy. MGM, of course, that was there's always three, big three.
Yeah.
ECW, WCW, and WWE.
But yeah, I think that merger will help AEW. So that's why I don't think they need a new TV deal. And also, I think the fact that they got one with where they were at and with Max
as far as TV deals, I just think they're wasting their time with TNT and TBS because, again, nobody hardly pays for cable anymore.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say because it's hard for me to find them. Now, like I know they're on HBO, but like you said, I don't have TNT. I don't have TBS. And if I didn't, stumble upon them one day, I didn't even know they were on HBO, to be honest. So it's like I feel like they're almost not, they don't promote enough almost to me. I don't know, like they need to be more out, like where you can see them.
I think hitting on our point that we've kind of hit on this at this point, I think what Tony Khan needs to do is, hire somebody to run his marketing.
Yeah.
Sit down, shut up.
I think him trying to do everything is what's really costing AEW more than everything. He should
at least walk across the hallway and ask the Jaguars marketing guy some questions. I mean,
no, their team's not doing that great. I wouldn't go there. I don't know if
they're not doing great, but the people in Jacksonville love them. So they're
starting to turn it around too. Slam, you watch. I'm serious. You within the next 4 years, Slam, they're going to be making playoffs. They're going to be making division championship runs, at least in their individual division, dude. They're putting together an organization there, man.
As long as Trevor Lawrence can develop like he should, I mean, they'll be all right. Now, I know they made some moves in free agency, so they picked up a couple of people, but I don't know. Like I feel like it's definitely a work in progress. Like it's going to take a while.
Oh yeah, it's still going to take a little bit, but you watch if they keep doing the right things within 4 or 5 years, they're going to be making division title runs and playoff runs.
Yeah, but they'll never bounce back like the Patriots did.
Oh,
But anyways,
damn.
No,
moving
not
on.
everybody's a cheater, J Mac.
There you go. There
Hey,
you go.
Drake May did not cheat. Neither did Tom Brady.
You're right. So you got one out of six. You're one
No.
out of your last six
See,
championships.
all
you
I'm going to
claim
say is
clear.
if we cheated, then the entire league cheated.
I don't want to hear that, man.
There is
No,
video.
no,
There is
no.
video
You go with that.
evidence of plenty of players backing up the claim that everybody was filming
Nah,
everybody.
I'm not
I don't know
trying
if you
to.
wanna-
Of course, a cheater would say that. Of course, a cheater would say that.
I don't know if you want to
I
continue
didn't
this
say it.
conversation. I got a little story in my back pocket here. Tom Brady tried to pull a little bait and switch with the NFL to try and get off the get out of his contract with the Bucks.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Hey,
He tried to while being a quarterback with the Bucks. He bought a share of the Dolphins, then tried to retire so that he could come back as the active quarterback for the Dolphins, the team in which he owned.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
That's first of all, you can't do that. That's illegal.
Magic Johnson did it.
This is not basketball.
Yeah,
in
that's
NFL,
totally
when you have a contract with a team, even if you retire, when you come back, if you want to come back from said retirement, your contract with that team is active.
Yeah, same as in an NBA. Same exact thing.
Well, you can't retire and then come back for a new team. That's not allowed.
Hey, I don't know the legalities.
Wants to let you out of your
sounds
contract.
like something Brady would do.
And I assure you, the Bucks weren't going to let Brady out of his the Bucks said, "Oh, you want to come back? Great. You have another year left on your deal."
And what he say?
We'll see you at the start
see if you get any more Super Bowls off me, buddy. Oh, that's all I'm gonna say. What's Bucks done since Brady left?
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know, man. Watch Baker Mayfield, man. He might pull a championship out of his ass yet.
Hey, I know we're getting off on a tangent here, but hey, he has impressed me going down there.
Yeah, but they just traded their biggest weapon and shit away.
Yeah. I hate the Bucks anyway. Even when Brady was there, I was so pissed off that he went to the Bucks. I don't know what it is about the Tampa Bay Bucks, but I've just always despised that team. I don't know if it was them ugly orange cream things that they used to wear.
Uniforms.
I mean, I don't know what it was, but there was just something about the Bucks that I was just like, nope, don't like them. I will never root for them. They never done anything to me. I just don't like them. It's kind of like the UK Wildcats, but that's a whole nother story.
I don't really care for the Cowboys.
America's team, they ain't been America's team for a while.
Again,
that's another show.
Not do anything in 30 years and be called America's team.
That's what I'm screaming. All righty, getting back on track here. So this is getting to what I was saying earlier. Eric Bischoff says WWE is starting to feel flat due to sameness across the characters and storylines. Now, before we go on to that, I'm going to read this because Cody Rhodes also said something that kind of touches on this. And he said, Cody Rhodes says he's lately been getting tired of being involved in long-running feuds in WWE. Quote, I hope that doesn't rain on anyone's parade, but I'm getting tired of wrestling the same guys. You get into these long-standing rivalries and you're just stuck in them. I mean, Seth Rollins and I have wrestled 4 times now, and even more than that, really. Those matches took a lot out of both of us, so I don't know if that's what I'm looking to do here. As much as I want him to see me, that's the hill. That's the hill in front of me. Via the Nikki and Bree show. They said, I've been saying this for quite some time. Not every feud needs to be 6 to 9 months long. WWE needs to find a perfect balance because fans are no longer interested in the long-term feuds. I don't agree with that part because I do agree. I do think the fans want long-term storytelling, but they're tired of the long-term storytelling when for 6 to 9 months, it's going to be CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. And then as soon as that's done with, we're going to put Roman with Cody and we're going to put CM Punk with Rollins again. And then we might throw LA Knight in there a little bit. We might throw Braun.
You're not going to throw LA Knight. You ain't going to do shit with that.
Right. But you see what I'm saying? They're using these same 4 peoples and just bouncing them off each other again and again, just like Cody said and just like Eric Bischoff said. People are getting tired of it. We want to see LA Knight. We
Mm.
want to see people like Braun Breaker. You know, even though I wish to God he'd change his friggin' name, I still hate that damn name.
And I think that goes to what AEW is offering differently. I don't want to bring everything back to AEW. I really don't. But you never know when who you're going to see when you turn into a Dynamite, because Tony Khan is a fan, and that's where some of his fan, like him being a fan, actually does play out, because he's like, hey, on Dynamite, let's see this guy wrestle this guy. And that's what WWE is missing. And that's what they've always been missing. WCW always did that better. Banger matches that are good, that don't have a long-term story, just two guys in the ring fighting for 20 minutes, bring on a hell of a match.
But to be fair, WCW did that a lot, and a lot of times there were a lot of stories that were just like, huh?
No, absolutely. But that's what the fans are saying. Why can't they have a balance? Just like AEW starting to find a balance between the long-term matches and the banger matches. And even when there's long-term storytelling, like even when Jon Moxley is facing Swerve Strickland, we're going to see Jon Moxley wrestle someone else on Dynamite. We're going to see Swerve Strickland wrestle someone else on Rampage. In WWE, even if you see Braun Breaker wrestle somebody else, that other person's going to interfere in the match in some way and cause them a match. There's going to be some kind of story. So I understand what they're saying, and I agree with Cody Rhodes. WWE needs to, not everything has to be 6 to 9 months. Why can't you have a couple people in a feud for 6 to 9 months, and then a couple of people just putting on some great matches for a night?
Why do your mid cards need to be 6 to 9 month feuds? They're not meant for that. Your mid card championships should be your Intercontinental Championship, mid card, whatever you want to call it, on any program should be a pay-per-view to pay-per-view feud, or a pay-per-view to a pay-per-view to a pay-per-view, at the most 3 to 4 months, so that way you can have 3 matches, rubber match, boom, who won the feud, boom, you're done with that. Now somebody else is stepping in. We're going to go from pay-per-view to pay-per-view with that. Your TV title or whatever the equivalent is, man, let it change hands, once every couple months. I don't have a problem with that. That's what it's there for. It's there to enhance the talent, to see if they're ready to take that next step on up to the mid card, on up to the world titles.
Yeah, but I don't know if you watch, pay attention to Raw or SmackDown much, because I just noticed this today. They only have like 4 or 5 matches in a 2-hour show.
Yeah,
and Raw's even, and SmackDown's even worse. You might get 4 matches and the rest is promo. So it's like,
it's Raw, or WWE is doing way too much in production.
Yeah.
AEW is doing too much in not preparation.
Yeah.
Like they're both doing the exact opposites of what they need to do. It's crazy weird.
And
right?
I feel like it kind of brings back what we were talking about WrestleMania. It's like, if we only got 7 matches, why are we doing fucking 2 nights for?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why is Raw 2 hours when I'm only getting 5 matches and the rest is pretty much promos and production, like you just said.
That's why I've never been a super fan of WWE, because they've always been more about production, and that works well in their favor in certain ways. Because when you watch a WWE pay-per-view, the whole build-up and the cinematic scenes that they do before a match, that's unmatched right now in wrestling. No one's doing that as good. To your point of that, that's what Kevin Nash said back in the WCW days. Yeah. Whenever WCW was competing with WWE, he said that WrestleMania, when he saw those movie quality intros, promos for WrestleMania, I believe it was the Stone Cold Shawn Michaels WrestleMania. He said, when I seen that, he said, I knew right then we're in big trouble, because they're taking it to another level with production. They're doing movies. We're doing TV. Yep. But now they've gone too far.
Yes. They've gone to the point and that's the problem, is Vince. I hate the term sports entertainment.
Yeah, but that's
why can't we have wrestling entertainment?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be sports entertainment. The element of wrestling has got to be there, or you don't have a product, and that's what WWE is doing. They're taking their product away from it and just doing, let's do movies. Well, that didn't work. WWE Studios collapsed a long time ago. Had a couple good movies, but Yeah,
no, doesn't. Now the only time you see WWE films is when a wrestler who's under contract actually is on a wrestler, because it's part of the contract where WWE Films gets paid to.
Yep.
But yeah, I completely agree with you. They've gone too far with production now. Like that was always something they had, but now they've pushed it too far.
Yes.
And they're trying to make it too dramatic. It's like people do tune in for the wrestling, for the athleticism. They want to see a good match. And I know wrestlers are always talking about storytelling inside the match, like inside an individual match, there's storytelling. But something like a good wrestling show needs to have all of it: long-term storytelling, short-term storytelling, and just a couple of banger matches on your card.
Yeah.
Right.
One or two banger matches on your card that aren't this person's going to die if he loses. Why do we have 10 matches where a person's soul is on the line?
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's why? Why is just like they just did it with who was it in AEW who can never challenge for the title now? Hangman Page now just lost and can never challenge for the title again. Why would you? This storyline is always so crap. Every time, every organization.
It's like we did that 4 years ago with Cody, and where did it get us?
Yeah, it got him to another company because he couldn't challenge for the title.
Right.
And Hangman Page, it's like, and in 4 months when he challenges for the title again, because we all know he is, we're all just meant to forget about it. And that's the part, like, you stop giving us things that are be all end all.
Yeah, right.
We know it's a story. We know it's going to continue. So don't give us something where we can't ever see this again. We like the fact that we might get to see this again.
That's the whole point for rubber matches and stuff. All righty, let's see here. Okay, yeah, this is one I wanted to get y'all's opinion on. So Randy Orton confirms meeting mystery ally ahead of SmackDown in St. Louis. I'm interested to know, who do y'all think the mystery ally is? I have a prediction that it wouldn't surprise me if it was the person. I don't think it's gonna be, but
who do you think it is?
I'm going to have to go with Wolfman's pick. We talked about it in our Call for the Bell episode earlier. I got to go with Wolfman's pick. I got to go with the third member of Legacy, Ted DiBiase.
I said the same thing.
Ooh, I never thought about that.
With him being out of the legal trouble now and he's opened up again.
I would not have even been able to make a guess if Wolfman and I had to talk about that earlier, because I'd been like, I have no idea who it could possibly be. It wasn't until he said, I think it's the third member of Legacy. I was like, yep, I think that would work. Calamity
Jane posted something, I believe it was yesterday morning or this morning, I can't remember. Shout out Calamity. And that's been my first thought was maybe Vince.
Nah, but then, I already knew that. No.
But then whenever everybody was the only thing, if you notice right here, the only thing that makes me doubt it's going to be Ted DiBiase is if you see that right there. That's that's Bob Orton, his daddy, right there.
See, that's what I was thinking. I thought, maybe his dad, maybe somebody like that. Maybe
I can see his dad. I didn't. Yeah, the picture with his dad in the picture there behind.
It's in the background. But my only thing is he's so old now.
And WWE's good at planting that kind of stuff, making you think. And also, if I could, I don't want to hijack your topic here. What is WWE doing with another try and guess who this is right after the debacle of Danhausen?
Right.
Why would you set your fan base up to be disappointed again? Because you already know, no matter who it is, whether it's Bob Orton or whether it's Ted DiBiase or it's Vince McMahon or it's Shawn Michaels or it's Kevin Nash, a lot of your fan base is going to be upset at that, whoever it is. So why would you set yourself up for that again after the whole Danhausen debacle?
I don't think that it would be that big of a deal, or that I think it would actually go over really good if it was DiBiase Jr.
Me too.
The only thing about that is I think that's too obvious.
I just think it's an unnecessary gamble when you just the last guess who it is blew up in their face.
I do have one other possible pick. And this is kind of a little bit of a long shot because the relationship's not there. Like I said, though, the legacy thing, I think that's just too obvious. But would Batista from Evolution be an option?
I think he's too much in movies. Like, I don't even think he's coming back to wrestling, honestly.
Well, no, but for a one-off at WrestleMania,
No.
just to
Like, have you seen him
interfere.
lately? Like, he's lost so much mass and stuff. Like, he's totally committed to just being an actor now. I don't know. I can't see him coming back to wrestling. I mean, he might and shit, but I just don't see him being it.
Then besides DiBiase and the Vince and all the ones that we've talked about, who else could it be?
Would it
Who
be
else
Steph?
makes any sense?
Would it be Steph? Because she came out and talked to Cody just last Monday on Raw and warned him and, slapped his ass and shit. And he said, thank you. I mean,
Could it be Steph? Well,
or
okay.
Shane.
I was going to say Shane. Let me ask this: what if it was? I just had it in my head and I went blank. Completely just went blank. Right? Oh, there. I've said this a long time ago, and I kind of got away from it because nothing looked like it was going that way. But now that the guest game is really there, and I think that Legacy and DiBiase looks too obvious. What if it's The Rock coming to claim the soul that he never got?
Could be The Rock.
I could, yeah.
Again, see the thing though is
Yeah, I can see that, especially with Cody. He don't like Cody anyway, or at least that's the way the storyline went.
But, we're reasonable, logical people. We're talking about wrestling fans.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's The Rock. You've still already ticked off the half the people who thought it was DiBiase, and we're about to see the reformation or some kind of potential reformation of Legacy.
I got a feeling that if there is that like I said, whenever it happens, there's going to be a heel turn by Cody Rhodes. And when it happens, he is going with the what's his face theme. Well, I can't think of his name. Off the boys. The Superman type character.
What's the fuck's his name? Oh, damn it. Oh, shit. I know his name. I cannot think of it because I watched the first 3 seasons.
I can't. I did too. That show's a jacked up show. Kids parents don't let your kids watch that show.
What show are you guys talking about? I don't even know what
The Boys.
The Boys.
Oh, okay.
I
don't know.
The main character? I can't think of his name. Saved my life. But anyways, I think he's going to go with that style of character because
Homelander. That's what it is.
Homelander. That's it. He's going to be Homelander Cody, because Homelander into the public is this. I'm Superman, but behind the scenes, he's like, saving people and then flying them out to a field, dropping them from 40,000 feet and letting them hit the ground. It's just crazy stuff. And I think that's the character that Cody's going to slowly play into, is that he's this good guy, but we're not seeing the bad guy behind the scenes.
Maybe.
Plus, he basically wears the same outfit.
Of course, you just showed a tweet about how he's tired of wrestling the same dude all the time and wants to have more matches. So,
well, yeah, but I'm just saying that would be the perfect way to. You come in as as the ultimate bad guy. See, nobody trusts you anymore.
Now that I've seen that tweet, now I'm thinking maybe Cody is going to lose at Mania, because the only way he can actually do that is he can't be the champion and wrestle a bunch of people. The only way to wrestle a bunch of people in the WWE is to not be the champion.
Right. Especially the way they do things. All righty. Next subject here is the Hall of Fame. These are 10 people who are not in the WWE Hall of Fame, and I want to get your opinion on these guys. You got Owen Hart at number 1, William Regal at number 2, Bam Bam Bigelow at number 3, Nikita Koloff at 4, Dynamite Kid at 5, Sabu at 6, Magnum TA at 7, Ken Shamrock at 8, Rick Martel at 9, and Giant Baba at 10. What do y'all think about this list? Is there anybody you would remove or add, or do you think this is a legit list of people who should be in the WWE Hall of Fame?
I'm wondering why 7 of them aren't already in the Hall of Fame, to be quite honest.
And those 7 would be?
Owen Hart, William Regal. I can't believe Bam Bam Bigelow is not in there. I can't believe Nikita Koloff is not in there. How is the Dynamite Kid not in there? Sabu, okay, I guess I can understand. He's more of an ECW guy.
Mhm.
Magnum TA, he's not in the Hall of Fame. What?
Yeah.
How does that happen? Ken Shamrock, I think he should have been in the Hall of Fame. I don't know why it had to wait so long. Why does it have to wait? That's my counter argument. Why does it have to wait long after someone's officially retired? Like when you know for sure they're not coming back. Why does it have to? Why do they have to wait to be in the Hall of Fame? I think I'm for let's induct more people into the Hall of Fame while they're alive.
Oh,
They
I'm
do.
totally there.
Look at AJ Styles. Hell, he retired this year, and he's going in next year or this year or whatever.
This year.
Yeah, that's crazy. He's not even officially retired yet. He's already going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
So
I think
what I'm
that's
saying.
odd.
Like, yeah,
The only-
Shamrock, Magnum TA, Dynamite Kid, and then 1 through 4. I don't see why those guys. How are those guys not already in the Hall of Fame?
The only argument I would have with any of the ones that you mentioned would be the Nikita Koloff, and that's just because he was NWA and WCW. He wasn't in WWF at all. You know what I mean?
That's another great point. I think the WWE needs to get their head out of their ass and realize that more wrestling exists outside of their universe.
Yes. I wish I know there is
stop treating the NWA and the WCW like your redheaded stepchild. You won.
Well, not only that, but at one point in time, the NWA, you were the redheaded stepchild to the NWA.
Yeah.
So I agree. Uncle Slam, you got any problems with this?
Like I said, the only people I would probably take off is, like I said, Giant Baba. I wouldn't have.
I don't know who that is. Yeah, I don't know who Giant Baba is.
Japanese wrestler.
Yeah, I'm all right with Rick Martel, even though he didn't win a ton of belts. Sabu, I could.
People
he's more ECW. Like if I was going to be now, like if this was a wrestling, are we talking about wrestling, not WWE? Then I would put Sabu in there as far as Hall of Fame.
But WWE.
But if we're just talking WWE. But WWE, I kind of got to get rid of them.
So yeah, but WWE owns ECW, bro. So that would be my argument. That's why I think you induct, like you own WCW and the ECW. You should be inducting those people.
Now, like if you're going to do it that way, then that I don't have a problem. Owen, I think he should already be in. William Regal, yes. Bam Bam Bigelow, I thought he was in. Honestly,
I'll be honest with you. I would argue that Rick Martel should be up there with Owen and them. People forget that Rick Martel was a world heavyweight champion. And by your argument, JD, WWE owns ECW. WWE owns AWA. And that's where Rick Martel was a world champion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was a multi-time tag team champion, plus he was WWF tag team champion. The only thing that I have a problem with Rick Martel in the WWE was, why in the hell was that man never an Intercontinental champion?
That's actually surprising. I thought he was an Intercontinental champion.
Nope.
Who are you talking about?
Rick Martel.
He wasn't? I thought he was.
Yeah, me too.
Rick Martel was never a WWE Intercontinental champion. Take it to the bank.
That's crazy.
All right. You're probably right on that one.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Giant Baba, but everybody else looks good. And like I said, at least 7 of them guys I think should have already been in there. So I don't have a problem. In fact, that's actually a pretty good list.
Trying to get my media assets to work here. They don't want to work. My ass don't want to work. Did you see what I did there? Yeah, see, I do too. I think it's a good list. I agree that most of the ones I wouldn't be so fast in put Sabu in. I wouldn't be so fast to put Ken Shamrock in or Baba. Koloff, those would be like secondary.
I mean,
I would put them in, but I'm not putting them in as a main guy.
I think I could agree with you a little bit on Shamrock, maybe. But with Sabu, I mean, he was the heart of ECW for a minute, especially before they were on TV when they were just doing the pay-per-views and stuff. Like Sabu was huge for their fan base, so I think he deserves it just for ECW.
But that's my only issue is I think that people looking back now, they understand ECW better, but I don't think at the time, I think ECW still only had its certain fan base, that there still was a lot of wrestling traditionalists that didn't get down with ECW. because of what it was.
I wasn't a super fan of them, certainly not.
Right.
But you can't deny that they have some.
They had an
in
impact
the wrestling world, yeah. So.
So I got a piece of trivia for you since we're talking about ECW for a minute and we're talking about Sabu. And if we're going to go the route of somebody deserves Hall of Fame, which he's already in the Hall of Fame, but he deserved the status a lot more and a lot quicker. Did you know that crap, can't think of his name now. Tito Santana is a former ECW World Heavyweight Champion.
No, I did not know that.
No, I didn't know that either.
Yep.
Huh.
Sure was.
Damn.
He was there with Taz when he was the Tasmaniac and a bunch of them. I was like, that's kind of crazy. I ran across a meme the other day. All righty. Yeah, I'm going to pick on him. We'll pick on him last. So, Paul Heyman. Let's see. This guy tweeted, he said, I love WWE. I love how WWE is using Paul Heyman right now. It feels very Bobby Heenan-esque, bouncing between multiple acts and elevating everything he touches. With all the injuries, having Heyman add to the Oba versus Brock feud with his words while they handle the physical side is perfect. Then he's boasting Logan Paul and Theory as tag champions, and even made Seth Rollins look like an absolute menace with that attack last week. Heyman is everywhere right now, and somehow it all feels bigger because of him. One of the true MVPs of WrestleMania season. So I want to ask y'all this. We all know Bobby Heenan is probably one of, if not the greatest manager of all time. Because of the work that Paul Heyman is doing and has done in the past couple of years, do you all think that Paul Heyman can officially surpass or maybe tie Bobby Heenan as the greatest manager of all time? Uncle Slam?
See, I hate saying stuff like that until people actually retire. It's kind of like the whole LeBron Jordan shit. I like to wait till their career is over to kind of obsess. To kind of look at everything as a whole instead
LeBron
of kind of
will never be better than Jordan.
What?
Goodness, someone said
I said LeBron will never be better than Jordan. There is no
obviously,
argument.
yeah.
Goodness.
I'd rather compare Jordan and Bird, man. They made a game about it.
So it's kind of hard for me to say, you know what I'm saying? Because just my opinion, I kind of like to wait till people retire before I say, to make the whole comparison. I honestly, I really don't know. I think he had more of an impact on wrestling, which that says a lot because Heenan, had some of the greats, Andre, Bam Bam. Who else was it?
Stud, Orndorff,
yeah,
Rude, Perfect,
Haku. But then you think about, Paul Heyman, he had the Dangerous Alliance, he had fucking Brock, he had fucking, Roman Reigns and shit. He's had a lot of world champions. So both of them were great commentators too and shit. You know what I'm saying? Great managers. I think maybe, I don't know, man. See, it's just really hard for me to say and shit. Like I said,
can you agree with what the guy tweeted that the work he's doing is Bobby Heenan-esque?
Yes. Okay. Yes. That I can agree about. But I don't know if he's surpassed him yet. Honestly, like I said, I can't really say on that. Honestly, it's just
the way it looks to me. It's going to be 1A and 1B, respectively, either way.
Mm-hmm.
JD?
Yeah, I think. I would argue maybe he surpassed Bobby Heenan only because I think without Paul Heyman, the WWE is in real bad trouble right now going into this Mania season. I think without Paul Heyman, this could have been one of the worst WrestleMania seasons the WWE has ever seen.
I agree with you on that.
I think without Paul Heyman, that's the only reason, because I think while Bobby elevated any company he was in, I don't think that the company depended upon him delivering. Like, even if he failed, if Bobby Heenan failed, I don't believe WCW would have folded. If he would have failed with the Dangerous Alliance, or that was Paul Heyman, but if he would have failed with the family, the Heenan family, I don't think any of the organizations Bobby Heenan was in was dependent upon his success for its success. I can't say that's the same right now for WWE and Paul Heyman. I think without Paul Heyman's success, WWE isn't having any success right now.
Very little. I agree with that statement.
Based on where he is, because they're right. Heyman's everywhere right now. He's involved in anything that's making money. Why? Because he's involved in it. Yep. So you're not making anything money from anything he's not involved in. So he's literally supporting the company right now. That's why that would be my only argument for him surpassing Bobby Heenan. And that's only because none of the companies were dependent upon Bobby Heenan for success or failure. And WWE can't say that right now.
I agree. 100%. I mean, the only time that I can really think of that would be, Bobby Heenan, which, I mean, he didn't really have to get him over because it was Andre, but being the mouthpiece for Andre leading up to that WrestleMania, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they were kind of relying on him at that point of the bickering back and forth between him and Hogan, but it was Andre. Didn't nobody have to get Andre over? Yeah. Andre walk in a building, he could just step over whoever he wanted to be over.
Yeah.
All righty. Last little thing I've got here before we get into the TV results. Razor Ramon, Bret Hart, and I ain't trying to pick on Bret, here. It's another thing that showed up, my great algorithm.
Man, I tell you, you gotta get on the wrong side of the internet all the time, man. Shit, you need to come back over here. Shit,
I'm on the right side, man. I'm on the Heartbreak Kid side.
Man, I don't know what side, man. Y'all like the algorithm, the internet. I don't know where y'all just messed up over there.
So Bret Hart came out and said that he refused to take Scott Hall's Razor's Edge. Okay. He said, quote, his finish where he would do what we call the Razor's Edge. He would pick you up and drop you on your head. I remember going, nobody is doing that to me ever. I don't care. And I would stand by that today. He goes on to say, oh, don't worry. I'll set you down. Right. This is what Razor said to Bret. He said, oh, don't worry, I'll set you down. I'm like, no, not on my fucking head, you won't. No way. There's no fucking way. He said, you're 6'6" or something. You're going to fall backwards with me. The first thing that hits the ground is my head, my upper back. This doesn't make any sense. It's too dangerous and too stupid of a move for me to do, and I refuse to do it. And period.
Is that legit?
Yes.
Damn, man, listen, Slam, I'm with, I told you, man, I'm a Bret Hart fan, man. He was the only reason I tuned in to WWE. I hated the first incarnation of D-Generation X because I was a huge Bret fan. I love the whole leather jackets, how they all had their name on the thing. Like I was full blown Bret Hart. It's comments like that make me not want to be his fan ever.
Like I said, I don't know where y'all be getting this shit. Obviously, like I said, legends on the wrong side of the internet, but
Bill Goldberg.
But honestly, all I can do is pretty much laugh at a lot of this shit. Just because, like I said, I don't know if it's all true. I don't know if it's just clickbait.
I mean, if that is true, man, I'm sorry. That's no.
I mean, like if it is true, then like I said, I gotta call a spade, and that is some bullshit on that. Like I said, because lots of other people took it, and I don't understand.
But after he said it, now that I think of it, I can't remember him ever taking that move.
I was just thinking the same thing. He never took the edge.
I don't think he did he?
No, not even in WCW. They were never. I don't think they were ever in the ring together in the WCW.
Yeah,
but he took the friggin' jackknife.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I mean, he did that for sure, but.
I get his concern. I get his concern with where he falls. I think that concern is unwarranted and shenanigans.
He should have been more worried by a super kick. No pun intended. I don't know about super kick. We know that Shawn Michaels is more of a professional than Bill Goldberg and is not trying to kick your head into submission, but I would have been more concerned with that.
See, that also, why would you're refusing to take the Razor's Edge, but you're willing to get in the ring with Bill Goldberg? Was he get kicked in the head before that?
To me,
I don't understand. He's worried. Wait a minute. He's concerned about his health and he got in the ring with Goldberg. Something is now not adding up. There's a big gap somewhere.
And I don't think anybody will argue that Goldberg was a better wrestler than Scott Hall. So
I don't think Goldberg
is true. Like I
Goldberg's not a
said, I
better
can't
wrestler
speak
than
for
me.
everything Brett says because I don't know context. I don't know him personally, so I can only go by what I know and what I see. So I'll just leave it at that. Like I said,
We can't get him to say nothing bad about Brett. All righty. Well, we will get into the shows and everything before and tell y'all about the results of the last week of the shows and everything. Uncle Slam, if you want to start yours off, I'm
I'll go
going to take me a little break to the restroom and you all enjoy your recap. I'll be right back.
Let me find my notes real quick. All right. Let's see. We'll start off with Raw. Oh no, actually, I got some real quick here. Let's see. What is it? Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I saw it come from WWE Wrestling News talking about an end of an era as far as says that Triple H is stepping down as part of creative. That TKO, TKO Group Holding has reportedly moved to implement a new creative direction for the promotion. Despite critical acclaim by Paul Levenstein era, sources indicate that TKO leadership is seeking to immediately overhaul the current production and creative management to lead the company in the next phase. They were talking about last night in like Madison Square Garden is going to be his last, like he's still going to be part of the company. He's just not going to be have that title anymore.
I think that might have been an April Fool's joke.
I don't know.
I don't want to be the guy that's like, dude, I think you got trolled on that one. But
you don't think that they would get rid of his ass?
I think that if
we just spent like a whole half an hour talking about how much we're kind of sick of Triple H's.
I think if they get rid of Triple H, then what we talked about is in full swing, and we're not going to wait years for it. We're going to see it over the summer months. I think you get rid of Triple H right now, every fan turns the channel off.
You think so?
Why would you keep it on? It's not everybody who's smart knows. Listen, why was the company working after Vince stepped away and Triple H was running it? But it's not working now that Triple H is in charge, but TKO is running it.
Well, see, I always thought, like, just like most things, when corporations take over family-run companies, they can't fuck shit up.
Yeah, they tied his hands, but it's not his fault that the company's failing.
Oh, I agree with y'all. That stuff because he has somebody he has to report to. It's not like he has final say.
But the fan,
he has bosses now. Like before, he was the boss, or Vince, his father-in-law, was the boss and had final say. But I think I always feel like corporations always fuck shit up. Like
you're absolutely right. Don't ever take a company public.
Spreadsheets and my shareholders than it is what the fans want and shit.
Vince cost himself his own company the day he took the WWE public. I agree with you, but I think if they get rid of Triple H, I think if it's not a April Fool's joke and he actually is leaving, I think the WWE is in real big trouble. I think
you don't think they would just can plug and play like a Shawn Michaels or somebody like that to fill in creative or whatever?
I think that I'm going to invest in some puts on the stock market for WWE stock price if that's the case. And for those who don't speak financial terminology, that means I think their stock is about to crater.
Yeah, the put options, like the government put on all the stuff, all the airlines the day of 9/11.
I'll tell you what.
But anyways, that's another subject. Oh, sorry, wrong show.
If they actually if the Triple H is actually stepping down, I'm going to go buy some puts in the stock market, and I'm going to make myself a couple grand. So we'll go out and.
Hey, if you're paid, I'm down, brother.
Right. Yeah, because we'll make some money off of WWE's failure.
Hey, that's the best time to get it when it goes low. Buy low and sell high.
But no, I think that's a legitimate thing, Slam. I think they're in real big trouble.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. And I got one more. Hold on. One more story I think is kind of interesting that I saw. I already told the legend about it and shit. Hold on. Where is it at here? Okay. A teacher, 41-year-old teacher in Brooklyn, was arrested after stealing $3 million in tuition between 2002 and 2025. Now, she spent $360,000 of this on wrestling tickets and VIP experiences. So she had to be getting the front row at WrestleManias, Raw, meet and greets, autographs, all that shit to spend that $360,000 in wrestling.
Their ticket prices are going up.
Real fans are having to do what they got to do to go see some wrestling, man.
I'm telling
God
you,
damn, 360,000. Shit.
It's a damn ticket prices, man.
Shit. Obviously, she got busted and she's going to jail and shit. But damn, I was like, my God, that's a lot of fucking money on wrestling. I like wrestling. I ain't that big a wrestling fan.
That's what I'm screaming. I'm not. No.
God.
no,
I'm disappearing with that money, and I'm just leaving.
She had it was 3 kids and her, so I mean 4 people, and they said she would go like every other weekend or some shit, going to Raw, flying places.
The cool thing about it is you can just go to another country and order Netflix and watch all the WWE you want to. You ain't even got to buy a VPN. You can just go to the country, watch everything, wait till they
probably did with that much money.
I'm just people are stupid, man. People
all
are
right.
absolutely stupid.
All right, now let me get to Raw. First, we got Raw. We had Cody Rhodes come out. Then Stephanie McMahon came out. A little banter back and forth. She pretty much told him that if he wanted to beat Randy Orton, he couldn't do it being the nice guy. That he was going to have to basically change who he was. And then she said, well, she said something smart to him. He said something smart back. She gave him a nice little slap. And then he said, thank you, and walked out the ring. A little weird there.
Yeah, I know. That felt a little off. Like, it's almost, that's why I question, like, I almost have a feeling like something like like JD said, a unification of legacy or something may end up happening. Like, what if Randy Orton is only doing this to pass the torch to Cody and be like, I'm setting you up, making it look like, we're going to, fight each other, blah, blah, blah. By the end of the match, Legacy's back together, but it's Cody leading it now.
Could be.
I mean, I'm just spitballing stuff off the top of my head, but
yeah.
So something's just not. Well, and it's like stuff's just not playing out and making any sense the way it's playing out.
How many? Just out of curiosity, how many segments were there before the first match?
Oh, actually, just one. Just one.
Wow.
It was Cody came out with Stephanie, and then they went straight to the tag team champion match between the Usos and the Vision. But yeah, there were only like 5 matches. I think 5, and the rest were promos pretty much.
I don't even see. I hear that from everybody. I'm like, why are you even tuning in?
I just flipped through the talking shit and just watched the matches pretty much.
Yep, I do the same thing.
See? Yeah, you want to watch the matches. Exactly.
Well, but we're old school wrestling fans, I don't mind a little talk.
We're the right wrestling fans. We're the correct wrestling fans. We're smart wrestling fans.
I think we're the fans that got big time spoiled with the Attitude Era.
I agree a little bit with that.
And that's from both sides.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you were a WCW fan or a WWF fan, you got spoiled. I mean, of course, WCW got a little unbearable towards the end. When but even after WCW folded, WWE got a little unbearable too.
Yes, they did.
But see, that's what I kind of think is good about wrestling right now. Let's say I'm not into WWE right now. I can go to AEW. If I don't like AEW, I can go to a TNA. If I don't like TNA, I can find something else and shit. So there's alternatives.
I agree.
Because sometimes, like, I don't want a whole bunch of story and talking. I just want to see somebody get their ass beat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I want to see, like, JD said, a good banger of a match. I want to, you don't have to do all that talking. Just go out there and fucking do your thing.
Yeah.
I remember watching WCW for the cruiserweights and flipping over to the WWE for the storylines. For what was going to happen as far as like, is Stone Cold going to come out and, do the little bang gun,
Stone Cold was the only one that I actually cared about, like where he came out, because it wasn't just, he didn't just come out and cut a promo. He come out and he stunned somebody. Like Slam said, he came out and he whooped someone's ass. So at least Stone Cold had that. But man,
I can't lie.
Even though I was a Bret and I hated Shawn Michaels, I hated, man, they would constantly talk. Bret would be at the top of the ramp with a microphone, and Shawn would be in the ring, and I'd be like, would you just shut up and just punch each other in the face, please?
But come on, man. How great was the Road Dogg walking up behind Triple H going, I smell it, baby. I smell it. When he was doing the croc.
Dude, listen.
That was great.
That was one of the best things. Listen, the DX parable and the NWO parable, even though nobody in WCW really liked it, and I can understand why, because nobody told them they were going to do it. But the Horseman parable from the NWO and the Nation parable from DX, dude, that is some gold.
Oh, yes, yes. I can watch that shit again and laugh.
Yes. And like I had forgotten, I was watching it the other day and I had forgotten all about, like I remembered Triple H and what he was saying. I remembered the white dude that did all the voices that was doing Owen Hart yelling, I am not a nugget. Woo! You know? Yeah.
Mark Henry?
Yeah.
Mizark Henry.
Mizark Henry and everything. And that's the only time I've ever seen anybody do blackface and nobody got offended. And I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Well, Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. Don't forget that one.
But man, I was sitting there watching it, and where friggin' Road Dogg was doing D'Lo Brown, he had that umpire vest on.
That's one promo though. That's what I'm saying. He
come walking up behind there, and he's like, Triple H said, "If you smell what I'm cooking," you know, and he started doing his finger. Next thing you know, he come up behind him going, "I smell what you're cooking, baby. I smell what you're cooking." And he turned around and started doing all that. I was dying, dude. It was great.
Yeah, it was a great one. I love that one.
Oh.
I like Triple H. Triple H was hilarious the way he presented The Rock.
Yep. Oh, yeah. The Croc. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that was great. Great promo.
All right. Yeah, we got new tag team champs. We got the Vision defeated the Usos with a little help from iSpeed. Pretty sure it's iSpeed. Then we have, of course, the Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vergara promo.
Still going on.
Yeah, I saw the comeback of Roxanne Perez.
Yep.
So she's back. Then we had women's tag team championship between Last Legend and Nia Jax versus Lyra Valkyria and Bayley, which Jax and Legends won. No surprise.
There is no reason why them two women should ever drop those titles. That's like Andre the Giant and friggin' Big John Studd being the tag team champions and somebody actually thinking they're going to do something against them.
Well, they've been pretty much ragdolling everybody that they've been facing. So I feel like they're getting ready to lose them eventually. It's probably going to be WrestleMania because they've been a little too dominant.
And that's the thing that why? Let's give them a 2-year run.
They give everybody else.
Right.
It wouldn't be nothing new.
Once you win it, you know you're going to be the tag team champions for 15 months because we're never going to see them on TV.
Yeah, they'll defend it twice in 15 months. So,
WrestleMania and Survivor Series.
Yeah. Then we had Brock and Obafemi promo. Brock pretty much called them out. They came out, had security. They tossed them left and right. Brock just basically got out of the ring, but they signed a match for WrestleMania. Then we got Penta versus Kofi Kingston, which no surprise here. We got Penta won that, but he did. He is going to have a ladder match at WrestleMania. So I'm a little bit excited about that.
WrestleMania. It's like like a 6 or 7 man match or something like that, isn't it?
I think so.
That's for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, that's the other match I'm interested in.
That's going to be a good one.
Yeah. That, like I said, that I am excited about. Like anytime you put a ladder in a match, especially with somebody like Penta, something good's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
Oh, last year's ladder match was a banger. That tag team.
Oh, the 4-man,
6 tag teams or whatever.
Yeah. That was a good one. I ain't gonna lie.
I love that they're keeping Penta and Rey Fenix separated yet, and just letting them do some singles runs before they actually team them.
Then Paul Heyman came out, did a promo. Of course, Seth freaking Rollins came out, hit him with a chair. Then Gunther made his return, choked him out, looked at the WrestleMania sign. So I'm assuming they got a match for WrestleMania. Then we had Io Sky versus Raquel Rodriguez. And Raquel won with a little help from outside interference. And to sum it all up at the end, we had CM Punk and Roman Reigns basically beat the shit out of each other, and then Punk put Roman through the announce table. Let's see. In NXT, we have Dark State versus Mike Santana and OTM in a 6-man match with Nina Price and Santana winning. Next, we had the tag team tournament contenders match, The Birthright versus Los Americanos, with Los Americanos winning. Then Kalini Jordan versus Jada Parker, which was probably one of my favorites. It's Jada Parker. I don't know. I really like her. Jada Parker won. Then we had the contract signing between John Henry, Ricky Saints, Tony D, and Ethan Page, which basically saw Joe Henry get put through a table and saw Ricky Saints put through a table, which left Tony D and Ethan Page to kind of pretty much beat each other up at the end. Then we had Jasper Troy and Keenan Carver with special guest referee Josh Bridges. It ended with Carver defeating Troy by pinfall, but then at the end of the match, the ref pretty much took out Carver for putting his hands on him. Then we got Tatum Paxton versus Blake Monroe. All that was a promo. Kind of boring. Then we had a number one contenders match between Lola Vice and Kendall Gray, with Vice and Gray. Basically, it was they pinned each other at the same time. Like one tapped and then one got pinned. So there was no winner. And then Shawn Michaels came out. I don't know why. To, basically make the decision, but they just went off TV after that. So he kind of left it in the air. SmackDown, and this is last week, so it's March 27th SmackDown. We had Sami Zayn defeat Carmelo Hayes for the United States Championship. We had
him up for a heel turn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's pretty obvious. Then we had the Bella Twins defeat Charlotte and Alexis Bliss with a little assistance from Nina Jax and Last Legends. We had Julia defeat Tiffany Stratus. And we had Jelly Roll defeat Kit Wilson, which I don't give a fuck about that shit. I don't know why they're putting that shit out there. I do not give a fuck at all about this match. Could care less.
I don't
You heard about CM Punk and Roman Reigns, I hope?
Huh?
CM Punk and Roman Reigns? That's the match you don't care about?
No. I was talking about Jelly Roll and Kit Wilson.
Okay. No, I mean, I figured you weren't talking about that, but I had to make a joke about how.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Let's see. Rhea Ripley defeated B-Fab via DQ. And let's see. Cody came out. Him and Randy started basically beating the shit out of each other. Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre are going to have a unsanctioned match at WrestleMania. Basically means the ref's just there to count 1, 2, 3. Anything goes. Let's see. Let's see. Jay Cargill basically beat the shit out of Rhea Ripley with help from B-Fab and Misha. I always fuck up this name.
Mishin.
Yeah. I know I'm butchering this name for some reason.
I can't say her name either, so don't feel bad.
And then let's see. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. Nothing noteworthy. Everybody's just pretty much prepping for the road to WrestleMania. Just trying to get matches. So, and at the end, let me see.
I think you could have.
Of course, Randy. Man, I forgot. Randy Orton had a match with Matt
Cardona
or whatever. Which, big surprise. Randy beat the shit out of him. Ooh, who didn't see that coming?
Right.
No shock there.
Zack Ryder.
But that's all in Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Legend.
Alrighty. For AEW, the results for AEW Dynamite for April 1st, 2026. And JD, AEW is doing it too. We only had 3 matches. Let's see. Will Ospreay defeated Pac. Kenny Omega, Jack Perry, and Brody King defeated the Don Callis family of Ricochet, Toa Liona, I guess. I'm not sure how to say that.
Tonga they're a tag team who clearly from the indie circuit who are clearly trying to model themselves after some of the
Toa Liona is an individual person.
Yeah, but then there's another one.
Bishop Khan.
Oh, Bishop Khan, that's who it is. Yeah.
All right, and then there was Mina Shirakawa and the Brawling Birds defeated the Triangle of Madness. Major moments from this show, because that was all the matches.
Damn.
3 matches.
How long is their show? Is it what, hour, 90 minutes? What?
Which one are you talking about? Dynamite or Rampage?
Dynamite's like 2 hours, isn't it?
Yeah, that's surprising. I didn't catch that episode yet. I'm a little behind on AEW. But
so the major
that would be surprising. I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at that episode and see what the hell is going on in that episode.
Major moments from that show. Well, the wait is over and he is not coming back to the WWE. Chris Jericho returned.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
To a huge reaction. MJF and Kenny Omega contract signed for the Dynasty build, which I hope MJF blasts Jericho. Him. And then MJF also defeated Speedball Mike Bailey. And I guess that was, so there was 4 matches. I take that back. AEW Collision for April 2nd, 2026. Willow Nightingale defeated Hikaru Shida, the TBS
Hikaru
title.
Shida.
Yeah.
I'm here to help you with AEW names, buddy. You just call me in anytime. You just say, hey, what's this Japanese name from AEW?
Gesundheit.
Yes, God bless me.
That was for the TBS title, and Willow Nightingale retained it. FTR defeated Enhancement Tag Team, and it was a tag match. It doesn't even mention who they are. It's just an Enhancement Tag Team.
I wonder who you're. Man, you got to get a better review site, bro.
Jobbers is who it was. Other highlights from the match was 8-man tornado tag chaos match featuring Orange Cassidy and others. John Moxley versus Anthony Bowens for a title eliminator. Will Ospreay, John Moxley storyline continued towards Dynasty. Then we went with TNA Impact results from April 2nd, 2026. Key matches were Ariana Grace, the champion, defeated Zia Brookside. I guess that's how you say her name. Knockout world champion, world title. That was, like I said, that was defended against. It was defended successfully. AJ Francis defeated the Hometown Man. Major segments and matches: the 8-man tag team match between Eddie Edwards, Cedric Alexander, Mustafa Ali, and Special Agent Zero defeated Mike Santana, Trey Miguel, Leon Slater, and Moose. Big storylines were Mike Santana versus Eddie Edwards teased for Rebellion. Knockouts division heats up with Li Ying Lee. I always have messed her. Li Ying Lee. Next in line. Hardy Boys continue their feud with the Righteous.
Righteous in TNA. That's good to know. I was wondering where they went.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of the Righteous. You guys know who they are?
I'm not at all.
You guys should check them out. I think they have something. I don't know. Like you know how when you see a certain wrestler and you're just like, he has something.
Mhm.
I don't know what it is, and he doesn't know what it is. Like, he hasn't found that yet. But the one guy, the shorter guy of the tag team, he has something. I don't know what it is yet, but he's got something. Just the way he buys into his character, he's going to be a star eventually. He just needs some time.
I'll have to
So
check them
I'm
out.
a huge fan of the Righteous.
Especially with it being TNA, I can watch them on Spectrum app now.
Yeah, they were one of my favorite teams in AEW. They were only there for a short time and they didn't get done anything with, but they have value. They are a good team, and the one guy, he's got a future somewhere. He's excellent. He's got something.
What channel does TNA come on?
A&E or AMC.
Yeah.
AMC. Yeah, I don't have AMC.
If you ain't got Spectrum app or nothing, do you?
No, I just got internet, like I said.
Okay. Same as most people, like we said earlier. Alrighty, guys. There was no major show for NWA this week. So the last thing I want to touch on, because we're coming up to it, is the card for WrestleMania. We are eventually going to do the Four Horsemen group is going to be doing an AEW. Lord God,
Man.
spit it
Hey,
out.
man, do you need me to help you, man? I mean, we've
I
had
know,
about
like
2 hours.
The Four Horsemen are going to be doing a joint effort show for watch along for WrestleMania night 1 and night 2. So we're going to do a prediction show a little bit, before each show. So we're not going to get into that tonight, but I just want to go over the card to see if there's anything you all would like change or anything.
Oh, you don't want to ask me that question, dude. I'm so serious. You really don't want to ask me that question.
So for night 1, the Undisputed Championship is going to be on the line. Of course, Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. We've kind of talked about that one already extensively. The other expected matches are, of course, Stephanie Valkyrie versus Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship. Let's see. WWE is not officially signed full night splits yet, so they're not 100% sure what's gonna, be on night 1 or night 2. So getting into that, we're gonna have CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, which again, I think we're kind of beat to death with all that. Stephanie Valkyrie, like I said, versus Liv Morgan. Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. This is one I predicted, and I'm kind of excited to see the two powerhouses go against each other. I think it could be a pretty good match.
Jade's not ready.
You don't think you think they're going to give it back to Rhea?
Jade's not ready. She's not ready. She's made great leaps since joining WWE over her time in AEW, because she was raw in AEW, and she's made leaps and bounds. But she's still
I think they kind of pigeonholed her or just didn't know what to do with her in WWE, because when she was in the other promotion, man, she was a fucking star. They just kind of set her on the shelf over here.
They made her the TBS champion in AEW, but they gave her squash matches because nobody could wrestle her because she was not good. She was stiff. All of her moves looked very bad. All she had was that she would come in, throw people around, and that was her TBS
just
title.
Power, she says.
Yeah, she's done a lot better in WWE. Like, I knew going to WWE was actually a good thing for Jade Cargill. I knew she'd get the training that she needed.
So would you say that this has been
she's still not ready for like a run, like a championship, like to be the world champion?
She is the champion.
She's not ready. I know she's the champion.
Right.
I don't think she should be in that spot yet.
I don't either. And I think it's just they need to build her up a little bit more, work with her a little bit more. But I don't think she's exactly Nia Jax.
If Rhea does win it, that somebody comes in with Money in the Bank and fucking takes the belt. I don't want to see Rhea.
There is no Money in the Bank.
Yeah, Rhea's going to be the champion.
Remember, Naomi cashed in.
Oh, you're right. Yes. Well, what if Naomi comes back?
Yeah, but has it been 9 months? Remember, she had a baby.
Naomi's not gonna. She won the Money in the Bank, but she hasn't cashed it in.
No, she
got pregnant. Remember?
I remember that.
She won Money in the Bank. Yes, she won Money.
Somebody else, someone else.
She cashed it in.
Oh, she already cashed it in.
Yes, that's how.
Because she got the belt.
Yeah,
she had to relinquish. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Never mind.
That's what happened with both of them. They both cashed in and won.
Oh, you're all right.
Because it was her and Seth.
Yeah, because most of the time, most people cashing in during WrestleMania and shit. My bad.
And of course, you got the Brock Lesnar Open Challenge with Obafemi, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited to see that. Punk versus Reigns, we've talked about that. Morgan, yeah, that's pretty much it right now. That's all the big stuff from WrestleMania. I know they've added a couple of littler matches and stuff, and we'll get more into that. You know, the nights that we do the watch-alongs and stuff like that with the predictions and all that. But I don't know. I'm just not. You know, before we close this out, I'm just not excited about this WrestleMania season like I have been in the past.
Well, I'm hoping that like it'll get better, or hopefully they surprise us. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's why we watch the show. I'll watch it and see, and then we'll just give our honest opinion whether it was good or it was shitty. Now it is kind of fucked up that it's on Sunday, Monday. I don't know how I feel about that.
No. We were wrong about that. We were wrong about that. It's on what, a Saturday?
It's on Saturday and Sunday. It's on a Saturday.
Okay. So it is a Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
I thought it was 18, 19 though, ain't it? Right?
It is the 18th and 19th. That is a Saturday and Sunday.
Oh yeah. Yes, you are. Yes, you are right about that. Yeah.
So yeah, Mayhem's just treat. I'm not excited about it at all. We're just using it as practice for our watch-alongs and stuff like that. It's more experience and practice for us, and collaborating with you guys, since we're going to do a collaboration on it. It'll be doing something that big will be a unique thing for us too. So it'll be cool.
All right.
Yep, I think it's going to be fun. I think
we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. I don't know if Mania is going to be fun, but we are going to have fun.
That's exactly. So tune into our show, because if Mania is boring, then we're just going to make it that much better for you from the entertainment coming from us. Yeah. And then if we're not that entertaining, tune in for the Sloans. But yeah, guys, I don't have anything else to speak on tonight. Y'all got anything?
I'm all tapped out.
Yep.
Sounds good to me. Guys, we appreciate y'all tuning in. For the referee hits that bell and all that stuff, make sure you go like, follow, subscribe, and all that good stuff. You know where to do all that. We're on Facebook, YouTube, all the places you can think of. Follow, subscribe.
Also, you want to let JD shout out anything before we
right? Yeah, JD, go ahead if you got any shows or anything coming up, brother.
Monday, tune in. J-Mac and Uncle Slam will be on our MCU episode, and then next week I'm going to be on the Superfly Experience with Johnny Lee on Thursday night, and then on Friday night I'm going to be on the Sloans next Friday night on the Sloans After Dark. Don't tune into that show unless you want to hear some stuff.
Sounds like you got a busy schedule coming up, sir.
Yep. Going hard. Plus, we got our Four Horsemen episode coming up in a few weeks.
Yes, sir. That will be coming up on the 17th, correct?
You're in charge of that one. On the 17th? No, we're not doing it. Oh, yeah, it is. Yes. Right before Mania, right?
Yes. So, the day before Mania, we're going to be doing that.
We're not doing enough. We felt Mania wasn't enough. A prediction show for each night and a watch along for each night, and then a recap show at the end of the weekend. That's not enough. So we felt we wanted to do the First Horseman show on the same weekend.
We know all the fans want to see our handsome faces and the ladies of the Sloan's podcast. So we know what we're doing. We're giving the fans what they want.
We always give the fans what they want. That's why we're here.
That's right. All right, guys. Well, that's all I've got. I believe the referees hit that 3 count, and we are going to ring that damn bell.